Okay, here we are, a palatial palace, a man cave.
Yeah.
Here in Suffolk. Now, very difficult place to find. It's a bit like it's just an amazing den you got here. But I'm with Dale Leeks. Dale was introduced to me via good man Tony Becks, and he's got. Not only has he got, but he's an adrenaline junkie. He's a bike racer and does many other things which we'll talk about very, very soon indeed. Yep. So thanks very much for having us here.
No, that's good.
You're a good man. And so just on the outside, so you run your own company, which is the Leeks Landscape Group.
Yep, that's correct.
International, I'd say, as well. Yeah. Interesting business.
Yeah.
Gets you out and about.
Yeah.
Golf courses, all sorts.
Yeah, we do a lot of different things. So, like the name landscaping kind of doesn't suit everything that we do. When I went on my own about 6-7 years ago, I had to start smaller. We soon grew, and the name stuck. But we'll do anything really from. I own the Suffolk Pool Company, which is a part of it, which we build swimming pools for people.
Sister company.
Yeah. So we put swimming pools in for people, which complements the landscapes and stuff that we do. But golf course industry as well is my bread and butter. Is what I used to historically do before I went on my own, and we've gone back into that. And I've got a team out in Guernsey at the moment working out there. I just come back from there this morning and been over there, nipped over there to see them boys. So yeah, we did some interesting stuff.
Yeah. Digging holes and all sorts.
Yeah, we're doing
amazing. And then, like you said, you do you drain the ponds and everything else on the golf course. Amazing stuff.
Yeah. I do the stuff that other people don't want to get involved in.
Exactly. Yeah. No, that's cool. Talking about don't want to get involved. So historically, then, with your racing, not bike here, your first ever bike. Yeah. And then so tell us a little bit about how you got on a bike and.
Well, my dad had always been into motorbikes, and when I was young, he bought me that bike. And I think I was about 3 years old at Christmas when I first got me Italjet Jet 50. Wow. And I grew up on a farm, so we had land and we could roam around on it. It was quite nice in the middle of the countryside, so I'd go on my motorbike whenever I wanted. And that's the bike I started on and fell in love with motorbikes really. And that's why I restored it. It sits up there. That was the beginning of my motorbike career really.
And then you've just grown your career. We went stateside. How many years ago did you go stateside?
So I've only just finished. So 2 years ago was the first time I went out there. I'd never planned to go out there. So three years ago, so we're 3 years into my business growing and everything like that. I'd been racing in the European Championship in top fuel bike with my turbo funny bike. But the whole time I'd been racing the turbo funny bike, I'd been supported by a guy called Dan Wagner in the States, probably one of the best turbo tuner in the States for bikes and nitros. And he supported me over the years and helped me out loads. He had a catastrophic fire 3 years ago, and he lost his whole livelihood. He lives and breathes motorcycles, and a few of his customers lost bikes in it. But he's one of his main riders who they travelled America racing all the time, lost their bike. He had nothing left, and this man works in his workshop 20 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's his life, and it was just devastating. And he'd helped me so much over the years, and building a business, I kind of thought I was going to sit out for a year or two with the bike and concentrate on business. So I called him up and said about the fire and said, look, how about I crate my bike up, which he'd helped build. I'd flown backwards and forwards to America whilst building it, and Stuart Crane at Warp Speed Racing had built the bike under Dan's instructions of how we're going to lay the turbo system out and everything like that. But I said, how about you have the bike? I'll just crate it up and send it over. You can put Terry back on my bike and go back out there. At least you've got something. He was like, no, you know, he was down. He'd lost everything. He was down in the dumps, and he was like, no. And I spoke to Terry, and Terry was like, no, I'm done, man. You know, they were proper out of it. And then about a week later, Dan rings me up, and he's like, do you know what? If the offer's still on, I'll take it. But another customer had lost their bike in the fire. Terry was out. He didn't want to be doing it anymore. So he said, how's about Rob Garcia rides your bike? I said, right, got it boxed up, shipped it out there, sent it. He had it in December. I sent it in December. I don't think it got there till the end of January, which was one of the most nervous couple of months of my life, not knowing where it was. It was getting shipped left, right, and centre. You didn't have trackers in them days, did you? No. So that went over. It turned up. Dan went through it all, changed some bits and pieces, got it all sorted for Rob. And the deal between Dan and Rob fell through. It fell through 2 days before the XDA Championship in 2023 was about to start. 2 days before. Now, I'd planned to go out there to see my bike go down the track, crew with him on my bike, but I was never going to ride. And he rang me up and he was like, Rob's not riding it. You get your leathers, bring your leathers. Now, I've been racing since 2008, and I've never ever gone down the racetrack without my dad with me. He works on the bike, he does the clutch, he does everything. He makes sure the bike's all sound before I go down. And so I rang Dad up and I was like, we've got to go to America. I was going on my own just because I was going to crew on it, but I was like, I need him to come with me because I'm going to ride. And I think it was just like, just in my head, I wanted my dad standing on the start line with me. He's always been with me. He's been part of my whole racing journey. And he's like, all right, and he tries to sort it, and he can't get his visa quick enough. I'd already sorted mine because I was going. Yeah. So I had to go out there on my own. I turned up at Maryland International Raceway. I'd met Dan and everybody before, and Ronnie Procopio, probably one of the best riders, an absolute hero of mine. I'd met him. But Ronnie Procopio's cousin Joe he raced years ago, but then he was coming back into racing. So he was starting out racing again whilst I was coming in. So he got this whole setup, motorhome trailer, got himself a 460 bike, and he'd offered to put my bike in his trailer, all his tools, everything. I'd never met this man, not once in my life. And I would say he's probably one of the most influential guys in helping me achieve what I achieved out there. I can never thank that man enough. And basically what happened was I turned up at the racetrack. Dan wasn't there yet, the guy that I knew. And I walked along the pits and everything, and I'm like, that's my bike in that trailer. Went and met the people, and he's like, hi, I'm Joe. And I'd already met Ronnie before and stuff like that. They took me in. From day one, it was like a whole new family. And they were great. And throughout the whole... Looking back on it, I'd have never wanted to do the whole thing without the Procopios involved. No. They were just amazing. They looked after me. And it was more comforting because obviously my dad hadn't come with me. They just surrounded me and everything was good. So Dan turns up and we get the bike out. We go out testing. My first pass down the track in America, the oil pipe blew off the front of the bike. I oiled the whole track from start line to finish line, and I was like, what a way to make an entrance here. I was like, I am not going to, literally 2 hours cleaning the whole track. I was like, I was hiding, I didn't want to be that man, but I was. And we tested, and I can remember we qualified down, low in the pack, and I was rolling in at the top end of the track, looking around at these other bikes that were coming in, and I was like, these lads, I've followed them for years, we always look at the Americans as being the best of the best, and these boys were the best of the best, and I'm rolling in and I'm like, I've just gone down the racetrack trying to qualify with these boys, heroes of mine. And so that, there was some pressure from that. I wanted to perform, I didn't want to be the joker on the end of the pack, and I tried real hard, and we ended up, there were some buy runs and there were things that worked in my favour as the new boy, and some people didn't make it down the track. I got to the final, and I can't remember if it was a mechanical issue why I didn't make the final, or I'm pretty sure it was a mechanical. I had one engine at the time, and I think we had a mechanical issue, and I didn't make the final. But I came runner up in the first meeting, and I was like, well, that's not a bad start.
Good, yeah.
So we went throughout the whole year. Bear in mind, I was never going to race there. You know, I was possibly going to go like one of the last meetings of the year and go and ride my bike. The Americans would have rode my bike. It'd be all set up better than it ever has been before, and just go down there and have a play. So then I'm go back to the next round. Now my dad's come with me. We're all working. We're all up singing. We ended up third in the championship in 2023. And we'd got down to a 4:01 in the 8th. So we're racing the 8th mile. And we really wanted to cross the 3-second barrier. I wanted to run 3.9. It didn't happen in 2023. We went 4:01, 4:02, 4:01, 4:02, which was a major improvement on what I'd been doing in Europe. You know, we were running with the boys, running with the big boys. And so the winter came. We went to the Manufacturers' Cup at the end of the year, just as a, final party with the guys and go for a race down there. And I came runner-up in the World Finals down at Val d'Aosta, so we ran down there. And then the next year out, 2024, was when it really happened and everything came together. And this is where the funny car journey starts, because I had a phone call with Mark Hawkins, Hawk Racing, and now I've known them guys for years. I met Mark and Jackie 20 years ago outside of drag racing in a quarry in Leighton Buzzard. They'd finished.
Not your bike, dude.
Yeah, that's one of the kids coming back. It's one of the many bikes I have to maintain. But I came. Where were we? So I met Mark and Jackie in a quarry. They'd finished their engineering business and gone into helping somebody run a quarry in Leighton Buzzard. I was a bulldozer driver. He found me in the Yellow Pages. I went there. And little did I know how much meeting them would be so influential 20 years down the line. And I've been friends with them for absolutely ages, that whole time. Real good friends with them. And for 20 years I have bugged them, let me drive your funny car. Let me drive your funny car. And it was always, no. But, well, that was Jackie. Mark was like, one day, mate, one day.
Yeah, Jackie's
and,
who's the boss, Jackie?
Yeah, Jackie's the boss. 100%. Jackie's the boss.
Yeah.
So, and I had a great relationship with them over the years. Whilst I've been racing the bike, I'd always go over and see them with the funny car. And he knew my dream was to drive a funny car. And it was always at the back of my mind, and I was like, I'm going to do it one day. And I persisted. Anyway, the beginning of 2024, Mark said to me he needed, he wanted some financial income into the team. And I said, for me to do that, I want to drive it. And we come up with a deal, and he went, there's no way you're going to drive my car unless you go to Frank Hawley's. Right. Frank Hawley's school out in Gainesville. This conversation's in January, and I put the phone down to Mark. 20 minutes later, I called Mark back. I went, I'm booked, flights are booked, Frank Hawley's is booked, I'm going there in 4 weeks' time. And he was like, serious? I was like, I'm serious. I flew out to Gainesville on my own. I went to Frank Hawley's with a blank mind. I'm a motorbike racer. I just wanted to go there. I'd done a super comp course for 2 days, just driving super comp cars. And on the third day, it was just me there. So in the super comp class, there was like 18 of us. Yeah. On the funny car day, it was just me, Frank, and his team. I would suggest Frank Hawley to absolutely anybody who wants to get in a.
Been doing it for a long time.
Yeah, I mean he was great. He was real good, and I drove an alcohol car, softer than a top fuel car, but it was it was good enough. It was stout enough. We went 6:01 through the quarter mile with it on my fourth attempt. We done a 300 foot. We done an 800 foot, and we done 2 quarter mile runs. It all went real well. On the phone to Mark and Jackie straight away, telling them, coming back, and we came back and put a plan together for me to start driving.
So then you had to get licensed here.
Yeah. So this whole time that this is going on, I'm like, I want to get licensed in the car, but I don't want to race it in 2024 because I really want to go for this championship with the bike. Yeah. And I've got so much going on. I'm flying backwards and forwards to Guernsey with work, and I'm flying from Guernsey back to the UK, going to Heathrow Airport, flying to America, going back to. It was so busy, but I'm so glad we did it round the way that we did. And so I'm going back and forwards racing in the States. The first 2 meetings of the year in the States in the XDA Championship, I won both of those, which set me in a great place for the championship.
And that's against your legends.
Yeah, probably one of the proudest moments of my life. I don't think it was winning the World Championship. I think that's second. I think the first was we had the biggest field in Pro Extreme Bike that they'd had for a lot of years. There were names on there: Paul Gast, Richard Gadsden, who rides in NHRA Pro Stock Bike, Teasley, Chris Cutzing, all the big names I've followed for years. And I went out of Virginia and laid down the number 1 qualifier with a 3. My first 3-second run was a 3:93.
And that's the 8th.
Just dropped the mic and was like, wow, bang, right on top of the list for the whole weekend. And I got the qualifying sheet and looked at it and I was like, oh, these names underneath my name. It was the proudest moment of my life. I didn't win that meeting. We got a bit heavy-handed with the bike, and we were trying to go faster and everything like that. I didn't win that meeting, but we then came along, and funnily enough, I won the championship against Rob Garcia, who was going to ride my bike, who was going to be the man who was riding my bike, and so I actually won the championship against him. So that all played out. That was magical, a dream come true to come back from America world champion and to work with Mark and Jackie and all the Hawk Racing team on the car to get it ready to go out next year. Unfortunately, the car took a massive hit earlier in the year, and what we were planning to do was I would go out and license in Mark and Jackie's car this year. In between race meetings, I'd license so that I'm ready for next year to go out and race a competition. It took 2 big explosions in the first half of the year. We sat down with Mark and said, look, it's time to invest in it, refresh the engine, everything like that. We pulled out of the season, get it all ready, get everything all refreshed, all good, so that I can go out next year with everything how we want it. Problem was then, I can't get licensed. So I've licensed an NHRA nostalgia license with Frank Hawley, but that's not good enough for a big show car, a top fuel car. So I then was going to go into next year without even having driven a big show car. And then Kevin Kent comes along and offers me his car to do my licensing in, which was amazing. Amazing offer. I went along to Santa Pod. I'd met Kev the week before. I'd already met Kevin before, but I went up to his workshop. We got all the belts moved, everything went through the car and everything like that. And then I met Kev the day before I was going to drive the car at Santa Pod. I was in his car, geared up, going through all the motions, making sure I was happy with all the controls, and they were so accommodating. They'd move
Did
stuff
you do all
to
the
everything.
getting out stuff?
Yeah, I had to do that with
blindfolds,
Santa Pod. They come along, done my, familiarisation and getting out blindfolded and all of that. That all went well. Met all of his team. They were absolutely great. If anything, I was quite calm with the situation. I'd been to Hawley's, done everything I'd done there. I was happy with the environment I was going to be in. I just didn't know what the hit was going to be like in a full-on nitro car. We'd gone through that night, met the team and everything. The next day they prepped the car up. We go down to the start line and go for my first hit in a nitro funny car.
Now tell me, first hit nitro car, what was it? 60 foot? 100?
60 foot, 0.93.
Yeah.
0.93.
Right. What was going? I'm just trying to imagine. You're in there. What was going through your mind?
So probably not what you think. I mean, I'm quite a calm guy in a hectic situation. I think that's why I do the stuff that I do. But because I've been to Hawley's and everything like that, I think everybody thinks when that body comes down, it must be scary and all that. No, it's probably the nicest feeling in the world. The body comes down, the car's fired up, it's loud, it's noisy, but you've got to remember, you've got a balaclava on, you've got a crash helmet on. that's dulling that frequency of that noise away anyway. And the moment the body comes down, the noise is now being chucked out the side. Now, don't be under any illusion that it's quiet. It's just not what everybody else is hearing outside. So it's quite subdued, but she's still quite buzzy at this point. You know, you do your burnout, it's loud and everything like that, and you back up, you come back. And I was calm. I'd kind of cleared my head because I wanted it just clear. I got belted in the car very early. I was in there half an hour before we done the run, and Kev's like, do you really want to get in there early? I was like, I just want to get in there, out the way. We were down at the start line, and obviously coming from the bike world, all the bikes were in the pairing lanes, and everybody wanted to come over and talk to me, and I was like, Joe, as much as I'd love to do that, I've got a job to do in a moment. I'm just going to get in the car, belt it in, and be on my own.
Yeah.
Clear my mind. I just wanted a clean mind to go around to that burnout box and do the job that I knew what every control was. All I had to do was do it. And
was it a short burnout, long burnout?
Medium.
Yeah.
It could have been a bit longer, but it was nice. It was clean. It worked.
Yeah.
The last person I saw other than Kev's crew when we were swinging around by the barn was Mark Hawkins standing right at the barn. Mark and Brett. And as I swung around that corner, I just had it in my mind. I was like, this man has put a lot of faith in me. I just don't want to let him down. I looked at him and I was like, I'm not going to let you down. I want to do the job. And that was my last thought. I think everything else had just turned into a bit of a robot and went through all the motions. I'd done 100 passes in that car the day before with it sitting still. Yeah. And I'd done it, and so before the launch and everything, the RPM's up on the car, and the last thing you do before you pull in to put your final stage beam on is pull it on full fuel. And the moment you pull it on full fuel, she calms down. She subdues you, and it's like, so she's the RPM's up,
and then high side.
Pull that fuel in, and it just settles her right down. And I'm like, oh, okay, she's not so angry. Bump her in on the brake, and then hit the throttle. And like, oh yeah, no, she is angry. She is angry. But the position that you sit in the car compared to being on the bike. Now I've run a 102 60 foot on a bike, and this is a 0.93 60 foot. It's it's going to leave the bike standing. But it wasn't as violent as I thought. Kev's car is set up very smooth, and it was nice. It just left, it sat straight. It bogged down, and the injector hat comes up, and I'm like, oh, so we can't see the track. I can just about see the top of the gantry. I'm like, wow, she's gone down. And then all of a sudden, she just starts to climb up, and you go, I can see the track. Okay, I can see it. And then, because it was a licensing pass, I had to shut off at 330 foot. Mm. But she was so beautiful and in the middle, and it was going straight, and I was like, oh man, I don't want to lift, but I was like, it's not my car, and boom, lifted me foot, we rolled through, and everybody was happy with it. And I don't think it could have gone any better.
No, so you've done all the other bits and pieces until you had your final one to do.
Yes.
And then obviously the rained on.
The rain came. So what they were going to let me do next was go the 1,000 foot. They were happy with what they saw, or go as far as I was comfortable. But the 1,000 foot was, was they were going to allow me to do it. But unfortunately, the rain came. We couldn't get the licensing finished. But I think the nice thing, and we were going to try it Flame and Thunder, but the track wasn't there. Kev was going to offer me the car again, and he's been great. His whole team, everything. He's really
Tim and Shelley, great lot.
Yeah.
And of course Dad as well.
Yeah, definitely. And so unfortunately we didn't get to go to 1,000 foot, but the good thing is I think it's kind of left me to sit through the winter going, you know what, I think I can do this. I didn't find it. What I wanted to make sure was that when we'd done that 300 foot, we done everything, was that I didn't sit in that car and go, oh my God, what the hell just happened? Because I think it's very important to be able to go and do this, and that's okay, because really when you have to drive a funny car, that's when I need it to be like, like I need to be on top of my game when things out of the ordinary happen, and that's what I love about funny cars. They're sketchy cars, they're evil, they're all over the place. So a straight A to B, I want that to feel just, this is normal. And I'm glad I didn't find it daunting. It was amazing. To have that amount of horsepower at my foot, and
so it wasn't 10 and 12,000 now, isn't it? Horsepower,
yeah, so they claim it around that. I just know it's powerful.
Not something you just sit on.
I don't know what the figure is, but I know it's powerful.
I mean, it's like, well, some people say it's like a grenade engine and everything else, isn't it? But
yeah, you do.
like
But
you're not aware of it.
Cancel that out of your head.
Yeah.
Blank mind is what you've got to have. If you sit there knowing all the scenarios that can happen with a funny car, and that's going through your head, you ain't going to leave that start line. That's got to be in the back of your mind.
Yeah. So Mark and Jackie then, Gladiator, yeah.
Yep.
And so that's a historic name as well, Gladiator.
Yeah, so that's going to go, because that was with Jason. So Gladiator's going, we've got a new paint scheme going on the car over the winter. That's just been all designed and everything, new name, new everything. So it's going to come out looking fresh next year.
Excellent. So, excellent. Then you've got to go out there, and that'll be the pass. Your next pass, 1,000 foot, will be in the new car.
Yes.
Excellent.
So that is the plan, but obviously I think because we put everything together and everything, we're probably going to do a launch. We're probably going to go 300 foot because everything's so new and everything in the car. It would be nice to go 1,000 foot, but it would be dumb.
And of course you had Spuff the Magic Man with you.
Oh, yeah, I was saying to you earlier before the interview, one of the coolest things to have with me and was real nice was that I had Spuff with me. Probably one of the most seasoned pros in funny car racing in Europe, and he coached me along throughout the whole day.
Yeah.
He was great, real great, and quite confident to have him there going through it with me.
Good man. Of course, Kevin and Shelley and the team there, and Nick and all them.
Yeah, they're all great people.
Because I know them obviously through past stuff as well, and Shelley took me for a ride.
Yeah.
When she was doing the Eagle dual seater. Yeah, bless her.
Yeah,
she's a good driver.
Yeah, definitely. She's driven some different things as well.
She has. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, we go back a long way. Yeah, bless. Yeah, of course. So your funny car. I'm wishing you all the best. We will do more and more of these just to keep people fresh and what you're doing and everything else. So now you're going to go out there and want to hit this and hit it hard now.
I mean, that is the plan. That is what I want to do. I want to go through the 1,000 foot with my foot planted to the floor. It's been my dream. It's been what I've been building up to for years, and I just want to do it. I want it so bad.
Yeah.
I really want it.
And you've got good people with Mark and Jackie and the whole team there. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, definitely.
They definitely.
I'm so glad I'm doing it with them. My relationship with Mark and Jackie over the last 20 years has been awesome. So there's no better people for me to be doing it with. I love them to bits, and it's going to be fun. I'll put the fun back in.
Oh, you are just talking to you earlier before this. You're an adrenaline junkie. You're jumping off of cliffs.
Yeah, I've done quite a lot of that.
Is that with a bungee or just jumping off?
No, with a parachute.
So parachute. Yeah. Well, that's handy then.
Yeah.
Got to have a parachute.
You can do it without, but only once.
Only once. No coming back on that one.
So I've done a lot of that over the years. I started with, but basically what it was the drag racing season would stop, and I'd have to do something through the winter. So I started doing a lot of skydiving and bits and pieces, and then skydiving got a bit boring. Once you've done 20 skydives,
you do your own. You're not tandem.
Do it on my own. I've done 200 skydives, and but it gets a bit boring. It's a very safe sport. There's a lot of safety procedures in there. If you knocked yourself out coming out of the aeroplane at 800 foot, it'll fire it. There's automatic devices in them. But I think it became so safe that I wasn't getting the adrenaline kick out of it that I used to, and that's when I went base jumping, which is no reserve. Pack it yourself. Go up on a bridge. I went out to Croatia jumping bridges. I went out to Italy jumping off mountains. I jumped Mount Brento, which is a 1,000 foot sheer drop, and then you get to have a parachute ride down for the next 3,000.
How many seconds is that 1,000 foot then?
1,000 foot. You're probably going to do that in 7-8 seconds. Yeah, you'll be opening after about 8 seconds. Bang, yeah. And they open quick. I've had stars in my eyes when I've opened a parachute from 1,000-foot drop. You know, nearly knocked me out. You're going from terminal velocity 120 odd mile an hour down to like.
Are you pulling any sort of G-force there as well?
Yeah, I don't actually know what the G-force is when you open the chute from terminal velocity, and it all depends how you pack it.
Yeah,
if you do a messy pack job, it'll open slowly, and as we do that in skydiving, you do it all how it should be done, but if you ruffle it up a little bit, it'll open softer. If you do it perfectly textbook, oh god, it's going to hurt. So we don't tend to do that, you know. You do leave them a little bit ruffled up and stuff like that. But that's actually something you just reminded me of. Actually, one of the most amazing feelings I've ever felt was at Frank Hawley's. I went through at 232 mile an hour, and I threw the parachutes. I've raced bikes. I've never thrown a parachute on a vehicle before, and I could not believe the force of them. It was insane. Yeah. Felt like
you're back in the seat.
I felt like I was going to snap the seatbelts. I was like, wow. And then the next time I done a quarter mile, I couldn't wait to throw them. I was like, this is awesome. It's like the hand of God comes down and goes, I got you.
Hold tight.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this is a great thing for you.
It's going to be fun.
And you know, you've got a lot of support.
Yeah.
You know, all of the. Obviously the funny car teams, you know the bike teams, you know Centerpod really well, you know the European circuit and everything else.
Yeah, I think it's quite exciting actually. I get a lot of the bike guys coming up to me who are quite excited for me to be making this transition as well. So I think, you know, part of it will bond two types of racing that don't actually have anything to do with each other than they share the same track. So yeah, it's quite nice. I've got a lot of the bike guys coming over when I'm getting in and out of the car and bits and pieces, and you know, hopefully it will merge some interest between the two.
And so it's going to be a good field this year.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you've got Patrick, you've got Kevin, you've got Steve Ashdown, myself, and Rob Elson's car.
Is that Nostalgia or is it not?
No, that's a Big Show car now.
It's a Big Show car now. Oh, he's got the American guy, hasn't he?
That's it, Hale. So Hale's driving that. And there's a few of them who are going to be out there this year, so it should be good fun. I think it'll be the biggest field for a little while.
Yeah, going back in the 80s was the last.
But definitely at the beginning of the year, at the end of the year, how many are left?
You'll be there.
But that's the plan. We hope so.
Yeah.
We hope so.
So I wish you all the best. We'll get together before the season starts.
Yeah.
And see how you're going and everything else.
Yeah, no, I look forward to it.
And I'll come up and have a chat with you at the pod as well.
That'd be good.
And take it from there. No, it's been absolutely awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
So Dale Force. So brilliant. So and you know, all the best, and we'll speak to you before.
Thank you very much.
It's been an
Appreciate it.
Pleasure. Dale, thank
Cheers.
you. Cheers.